More of your phone calls coming up. Greg Anthony, former NBA player, now works for NBA TV. He'll join us coming up. I think he took offense to my opinion on Jason Tatum. This is prior to the injury last night. Still waiting for the results of that MRI. I also have the list of international games for the NFL. Have that for you coming up as well. Christopher Mad Dog Russo, host of Mad Dog Unleashed on Sirius XM, Channel 82, host of ESPN's First Take, and Mad Dog Sports Radio Channel, and Mad Dog Unleashed, weekdays at 3 Eastern. Also, you can see him on First Take with Stephen A. Smith. Are you a conspiracy theorist when it comes to sports?
Well, you're talking about the Mavericks. I mean, it is a little crazy. I mean, a 1.8% chance to get the lottery and to win the lottery, and they get it. I understand they're so worried about tanking, but Danny, isn't there something wrong when Utah, Washington, and Charlotte can't win the freaking lottery or don't have a chance to get the top 3 picks? Isn't that wrong in sports? And I understand they're worried about these teams with 20 games to go not caring, which is an indictment in itself. But isn't it time maybe we pass on the lottery and give those worst teams the best chance to get the 1 pick? Why don't we just do the lottery with the 3 or 4 worst records and not include Dallas or Houston? That was a trade, but you know what I'm saying. To give the worst teams the chance to get, I mean, really? I mean, that is a little rough. And last year, obviously, Atlanta won the lottery. They had a 3% chance to win. So, and it all starts with Ewing in 85 with Stern. It was a TV show at first. They get a little TV juice. But, am I a conspiracy theorist? No. But I think you and I both agree it doesn't look good for the NBA that the Mavericks win the lottery. After they trade Luka, here's what my 21-year-old said. Dad, somebody must have told Nico Harrison, do us a favor, get Luka to a big market, and we'll figure out a way for you to get the number 1 pick in the draft. I mean, that's what it leads to.
Yeah, but you start to look at it and you go, okay, LeBron went to his hometown. Derrick Rose went to his hometown. Ewing goes to the Knicks. Everything that was attached to that. Were you on the air in 85?
Not in New York.
Okay.
I was in Orlando. I don't remember. Everybody remembers the great picture of DeBusschere, who was all excited, and Ewing. And, there was a lot of people who thought that was rigged. You and I, are good sports fans. We don't think it's rigged, but it doesn't look good. And again, Utah, Washington, and Charlotte earned it. They deserve to have the top 3, 4 picks in the draft. They have what did Utah get? The 6th pick, 5th pick? Charlotte got the 6th, 7th pick. And there's only 4 or 5 guys who make a big difference anyway. Flagg is one of them, and he ends up going to the team that doesn't really need him. With Kyrie and with the front court and, of course, Anthony Davis. It looks bad for the NBA. And the idea that we got to make sure we put a lottery in so the San Antonio Spurs don't tank, which what they did to get Duncan, is really an indictment on the whole sport. Isn't the idea to try to go out there and win every game that you play? It's an indictment on the whole sport.
How about instead of a Final Four, you have the bottom 4, and you have the bottom 4 teams play for the right to have the number 1 pick? Like, I have to incentivize some of these teams because Mark Cuban got fined $600,000 when he was on our show a couple of years ago by saying that basically it was a front office tanking that they were guilty of. So that's where, the players who are playing are going to play hard. You just don't put the best players out there
Correct.
To play hard. Is there a way to incentivize teams? Let's say once you get eliminated, the number of wins you have after you get eliminated will create the draft order.
Yeah, that's a good point. Something like that, to avoid these teams just, basically throwing up their hands in the last 10, 12, 13 games of the year. Yeah, you would think there's a element of it that they can do something, and it's a TV show. They like the drama. They like the cards up. It's a TV show. And the NBA should eliminate the idea that they're going to have a TV show to determine who goes out there and gets the number and gets the card flipped. I mean, it really is Dallas wins the lottery. San Antonio gets the 2nd pick. Really? Come on. Why don't we just give the Spurs 6 players, for crying out loud? It looks very bad for the NBA. I don't know. And I don't believe it is a conspiracy. I'm with you. but it looks, perception is awful. And if I got a 23-year-old who's a good NBA fan and a good sports fan, if he says that to me at 9 o'clock last night, that's a problem. That is a problem.
Christopher Mad Dog Russo, host of Mad Dog Unleashed, and you can also see him on First Take, usually every Wednesday with Stephen A. Smith. I likened the spotlight to vitamin D. You know, some of it, getting out and getting sunshine. The spotlight is vitamin D to Jalen Brunson. He seems to he absorbs it. And, once again, when you're around him, you stand next to him, like you're going, that guy is going off for, this is his, 17th time he's had 30 or more points in a playoff game?
He's not a tremendous shot. He kept a minute last night. He had that great third quarter with the 18 points. And I just heard you there a little while ago with Tatum. I mean, it's a horrific, probably a bad injury. I don't think they've announced anything yet. And we all hate to see it. He's a great player, but the Knicks are going to win that. I don't want to hear a Celtic fan say, well, we could have. No, the game was over. I mean, it was 113 to 104 when he got hurt. The Knicks won that game in the third quarter. They got offense, but Brunson has been incredible. You're 100% right. I mean, nobody saw this. I'll say one thing that's interesting. If you go back to that Dallas-Utah series when he was a Maverick, in the first half of it, about 4 or 5 years ago, he played, and Luka was out. Yeah. He played really well in that series. Obviously, Leon Rose saw it. And then with Luka, came back in the second half of the series, and they beat the Jazz in 6 games. But Brunson in the first half of that series did an incredible job. I've heard he's a great guy. I mean, it seems like he's even like the commercial he does. I like the way he handles it with DiVincenzo. I mean, listen, last night he was great. He gets to his spots. I am shocked. I thought after the Celtics won Game 3, they were going to figure out a way to get back and win this series. I'm not shocked about Cleveland. I thought Cleveland was a paper tiger. I thought they were a regular season team. I think Indiana's very underrated. That series isn't over yet, but I'm not shocked they're up 3-1. I think we're all shocked that the Knicks are up 3-1. And now they're going to obviously, he's not going to play, so they're going to figure out a way to win that series. And I said yesterday on my show there, Dan, I guess I was wrong. I thought there were 6 teams that had a chance to win a championship. It was wide open. I have not been that impressed with Oklahoma City. I am not that impressed with Denver. The Celtics have been vulnerable. And the 2 teams I said I don't think they can win a championship were the Warriors and the Knicks. Maybe I got it wrong. Maybe the Knicks will win the NBA title after all is said and done, because they got 4 guys yesterday who all scored, and they steamrolled. They threw these, to quote Lupica, they threw the Celtics on a flight of stairs in that third quarter yesterday. They killed them in that third quarter, and that's the quarter the Celtics usually win. So good for them. And Brunson is tremendous, as you said. He's not underrated anymore. He was underrated coming to the Knicks.
I got roughed up by a couple of former NBA players on social media. I talked about Jason Tatum being a great player, but not a star. That there's only a couple of players, and I liken this to, Tom Cruise is not necessarily a great actor as much as he is a star.
Yeah, I agree.
Bradley Cooper is a star, and a great actor. And then I likened it to Trae Young. He's got star power. Luka has star power. Steph Curry has star power. There's only a couple of players. Like SGA has no star power. He's an unbelievable player. He's going to be the MVP. But he doesn't. People aren't going, hey, when's SGA playing? If Steph Curry's playing, younger kids love Trae Young. Luka's got star power, but I caught some flack. Greg Anthony was going to join us. He was like, how can you say that he's not a star? He's first team All-NBA 5 times, which is true. He is a great player. But having star power, you go out to see the Celtics. Yeah, you're not necessarily going to see him. And it came off as a slight. I didn't mean it that way. I was just letting people know there's only a couple of players that you go, I'm coming out to see you. And he wasn't on that short list. I don't even know if Joker's on that list, Chris, because...
I don't think Kawhi Leonard is either. He's a great player. You think people are flocking to buy tickets? First off, he never plays, but you think people are flocking to... Giannis is a star. I mean, the way he plays, he would be on that list that you mentioned. I know where you're coming from, though. I can see your point. He's a great, great player. The ball sticks to him sometimes. The ball has a tendency to stick to him a little too much for me. But I generally understand where you're coming from. I think you are probably 100% right. I don't like Trae Young. To me, he keeps both teams in the game. His shot selection. I'm not a big
Oh,
fan of
he's not
him.
a better player than Jason Tatum. I'm
No,
saying he's
no,
got star pack.
I
Young
understand.
kids love Trae Young.
I
They
agree.
do.
No,
Tune in
but
factor.
but I think they overrate Trae Young because he does have star power. I don't think he's a great player. I think
That's
he's
fair.
got that little panache, which makes he shoots 40 footers.
Yeah.
He's small, he's flashy. But I know where you're coming from. I think there is something where with Tatum, you watch the franchise more than you go watch the individual player. I don't know if people in Oklahoma City are buying tickets because Tatum's coming to town. They're buying tickets because the Celtics are coming to town. And that's probably what you meant. When Giannis comes to town, they're buying tickets. When Curry comes to town, they're buying the tickets. Jokic, I think he's probably got star power because he's so unorthodox. He's a
But I
big,
don't know if
lumbering guy.
I can see that at the Y. I can see there's that guy at the Y where you go, damn, he scores, passes, rebound, does everything. And Luka's the best, or Jokic is the best player in the game. I'm just saying star power to come out and watch. Anthony Edwards has more star power than Joker does, in my opinion. Like I got to go see that guy. And so.
The one thing I would disagree with you on with that is Jokic is so unorthodox that he's so unique. Big lumbering guy, can handle the ball, shoots threes, great passer. There's an element of that. How is he doing this? And so you go to the games for that reason. But I do understand exactly what you're saying about Tatum. If you're getting grief, they shouldn't be giving you grief. It's a sports opinion, and I can understand that to where you're coming from. And again, back to Brunson. I mean, it's incredible. He gets to his spots. You would never think. Little bit of a guy,
I know.
I never thought who thought he was going to be this great coming out of college? I mean, a little bit like he's better, but a touch a little bit like Fred VanVleet. I never thought he was going to be a good NBA player. No, he's not as good as Brunson, but you get the idea. And SGA, I think you're right. He's great, but he doesn't have that. And I tell you right now, Oklahoma City is a little overrated. I mean, for a team that won 68 games, I mean, they were down 29 in game 3 to Memphis, and Memphis, had Moran out. They're lucky they got through the game the other day against Denver.
This is going to come back and bite you. You know this.
No, that's okay.
They're going to win the title.
Watch them win the title. And they very well. And I haven't been impressed with Minnesota. I mean, I didn't see the second half last night when they played great, but boy, they've worked awfully hard to beat Golden State. I mean, and they have no Curry, and they've worked awfully hard. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not seeing the 86 Celtics, let's put it that way, or the 82, 83 76ers, or the 66, 67 Sixers, or the 71, 72 Lakers. I didn't see the 66, 70. You did. I didn't. The 66, 67 Sixers. But I did see the 71, 72 Lakers that were great, 68 and 13. I'm not seeing that kind of team right now so far in the NBA playoffs, myself.
If you're NBC, how do you use Michael Jordan on your NBA package?
Well, I don't think Michael's going to be there every Saturday or Sunday afternoon breaking down, a regular season game up against football. So I don't think he's going to be there in that situation. To me, I think it's a little PR oriented because I got to see how much Jordan's going to work. And, Jordan's going to give up some of those golf things in NBA playoffs. Somebody says, Michael, let's go play in Dubai. He just says, no, I can't. I got Sacramento and Dallas in a playing game on NBC. He's not going to do that. So I got to see it to believe it. But, it's a good PR move for NBC. I mean, he won all those championships for the network. Who's not going to want to hear what Jordan has to say? But I believe those appearances will be short in stature and brief. I think it's more, until it's proven otherwise, I think it's more PR than anything else. I got to see him really want to do this.
Yeah, I'm wondering, and we joked about this, that is it going to be Michael Jordan goes and lets some of these players interview him? That, coming up at halftime, Cooper Flagg interviews Michael Jordan. An audience with Michael Jordan where these players get to ask him questions. But other than that, unless they do what Kobe did with his details, when he would truly break down a game or a player, I could see that maybe with Mike doing something like that. But I thought Kobe was wonderful as an analyst, with his own series there. Maybe they do
Yeah, I
that
didn't
with Mike.
see that. I mean, I don't see Jordan breaking down an individual game and getting on a player for making a mistake. I don't see Jordan wanting to get into the weeds of why so and so made an error. Why Harden stinks in big games. Which he does. I don't know if Jordan's going to want to do that. To me, that's just NBC trying to get a little uh, juice with their NBA deal. Let's announce that we've hired Jordan for quote unquote a special correspondent. They probably haven't even detailed what that might entail because they just said, Jordan, why don't you sign up and we'll figure it out later on, that kind of thing. But I think people will pay attention to it. It's, Jordan doesn't talk much. You very rarely see him after that great documentary. So from that standpoint, we hear from him. And we'll go from there. Listen, we're going to have a little drama here, a little drama with Denver, Oklahoma City. Let's see how Cleveland responds. Celtics without Tatum. Do they throw in the cashmere chips? Do they go play with a lot of verve in game 5 down 3-1 when it appears they can't win that series? So I think you're going to have a little drama here. Can Golden State win a game? They get Curry active for game 6. I think you're going to have a little drama here in the next 4 or 5 days in the NBA. And going back to the original thought, something's wrong with the idea that the Dallas Mavericks freaking win the lottery after Atlanta won. So yeah, I'm with you 100% on it. 100%.
Good to talk to you, Chris.
I love you, Danny.
Thank you,
keep
buddy.
up the good work. Okay.
And Christopher Mad Dog Russo, he's got his own channel, Sirius XM, channel 82, weekdays at 3 Eastern. Also, he'll be on First Take Wednesdays with Stephen A. We'll come back. We'll play Fill in the Blank. A few more phone calls as well. Back after this.